Hello and welcome. My name is Margaret Gilbert from Corporate Contracts and I'm the Director of Corporate Contracts. So welcome, and these set of videos that you can find on YouTube and elsewhere are all about how to make procurement better. That is the aim and the goal. So welcome to the word on contract matters and about contracts. So corporate contracts is about three things. One is procurement consultancy, one is procurement training, and the other is in respect to contract matters books that I've written, a copy of which I have here, and you'll be able to find the more details about the contract matters book at the end of this video. So I work for both buyer and supplier. For buyers, I just look to ensure that the process is done well and to incorporate what's necessary into the procurement process. For suppliers, I assist them to understand what the procurement process is all about and to assist them to ensure that the proposal responses they put in to buyers covers both the technical and the commercial side that buyers are looking for. I hope that this gives you an idea about what corporate contracts is about. I look forward to hearing from you. Please feel free to get in contact through www.contractmatters.com or through my email, which is margaret@corpcontracts.co.nz. So look forward to hearing from you. And these videos is all about how to make procurement better. That is the aim and the goal. So look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for listening. Thank you. So that is badly needed.
What about we think about the future of procurement, but what about the things you don't know? Because nobody's thought of it yet, so it's not kind of come into a conscious arena, as it were. So we can plan. How structured does such a plan need to be?
Well, there needs to be a plan, and I think that's part of that communication about likely forward requirements, which procurement needs to know so that they can go and do and plan and all the rest of it themselves. But there has got to be some ability to adjust to the unknown. The problem with the unknown is that it's just allowed to be unknown because there's lack of understanding that a procurement process can take 3 months, etc. So and people want it now rather than knowing that, or urgent, and overuse that term, which is a shame. So therefore it's just like it's sort of, it's left to the last minute. So most organisations do a planning session either at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year, and that's where the procurement plan needs to happen for the next 12 months out or 2 years out or whatever.
I can see that there would be some real strategic benefit in sitting around a table and working out, and thinking in terms of a manufacturing kind of cycle. However, where you've got services and they're just as important, and then actually that does take some planning to put that kind of thing in place, because if you don't have a plan, what do you do with your risks?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you want to talk about the risks a bit?
Yes, I can talk about risks. Around procurement, there's always going to be risk, but it's a matter of being able to manage it and to reduce the risks as you go. So the concept is to reduce your risks, so to remove your high risks, and to look and keep an eye on your medium and low risk, because while they might be medium and low now, if you don't look and pay attention to it, then you could well sort of find that it will increase to become a high risk. So if you're looking forward in terms of what the future is going to be, and because if you don't plan, if you don't think about it, and you don't adjust to the upcoming technology and all the rest of it, that is a significant risk, because it can be that technology will just sort of, as it always does, get superseded. And if your system is sort of, an old system, and you're not going into the new, then your risk is significant in terms of not being able to do what's required.
Adjust quickly enough. Yeah.
And of course you always need to be able to pay your suppliers, so if your technology is a bit grunty, then that's not going to be helpful either. Yeah.
So really, when you're thinking in terms of plans, you've got to have some flexibility in your plans.
You do.
And you also have to have some flexibility in the budget.
Yeah.
That can be a bit tricky.
And
but also the risk issues, you've got to have some flexibility to move around that too.
That's it. And most of all, really, when you think about planning, is that you've got to be clear, and this is all the basics about procurement, you've got to be clear about what you want and be able to communicate that want and to be able to put it in writing of that want so that it makes it easier for the supplier to respond if it's going to be through a tender process or other means in terms of the specifics of the situation.
Yeah.
So whether we're talking about now or the future, there's always going to be a need to have to be able to put it in writing, so to speak, what the requirements are. And that is still, even after all this period of time, is still found to be extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why that should be, but it is. So.
Well, if you're talking about technology, some of the companies that I've worked with, I've seen them just work so hard to try and get the technical specifications down, and even working with top-notch IT people, it's still difficult, but that conversation has to be held.
It does.
So in terms of a supplier perspective, because they need to be looking to the future as well, and see how their processes and the way they're thinking about future supplies to different companies, different buyers, how those things are going to be affected, because they also have to keep an eye on the technology that's relevant to their industry.
They do.
So the technical stuff for a supplier can be very simple or it can be very complex.
It can. And I think you find at the moment and going forward is that the IT suppliers are looking ahead into the future, and because they can see benefit for themselves, and fair enough, why not? They are there to make a living. But there are other suppliers that really don't care in terms of what's going to happen in the future in terms of procurement, because as long as they can get paid, they're not going to worry about anything else. But equally, they probably need to be looking at things from their perspective in terms of their platforms that they're going to be using. And maybe if it's going to be a long-term relationship between the buyer and the supplier, it might be useful to have the same package, IT package, so that the two can talk to each other, because the last thing you want is a IT package that is not compatible. So that can be a problem.
Yeah.